Hello everyone, it's Professor Gray here with you, and welcome to week 12 of our freshman English course. This week we will have only one video lecture, this one. The listening lab study part of our course is finished, and next week you will have a live online exam. It will be done like the midterm exam was done. I will send you the test, you will write it and send it back to me. That one will be next week. I have given you the time so you can be ready. It's during your class time next week. The final exam again is June 4th, Friday, June 4th at 6:30 p.m. And I'll get to finally see you in person on Friday, June 4th. I'm looking forward to that. Until then, we have a little more study to do in our textbook, so let's get working now. The homework was on page 142. Beck Saship E, page E? G. Very well done, very well done. How do you think the professor adapted his behavior? Most of you said he didn't punish the students, accepted their lateness, or he came late for class himself, or he stayed late, let the class go longer, basically adjusted the class schedule to fit the culture, the local culture. And number two, why? Why did he do it? Many of you mentioned a very famous phrase we have, kind of a famous saying in English, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So when you're in Rome, you behave or follow the rules of Rome. And he was living and working in Brazil, so the students sort of expected him to be late. And I think he thought it was easier if he adapted rather than asking all of his students to change their behavior or adapt to him. So I just think he did the right thing, and I think the students were more comfortable, and probably the students understood and appreciated it too. So I think it probably was good for everyone that he decided to adapt while he was there in Brazil. Okay, good job with that. Very well done. Next, let's go to the dictionary skills section of Chapter 11. We started Chapter 11 last week. Technology competes for family time. The dictionary skills are on page 152. Beck Oship E. I'm going to review the homework now, and then we will move on in the textbook from there. Surf. Surf is short for surface, the top. So surfing on the ocean means the top of the ocean. You're not going in, you're not diving or scuba diving. You're on the surface surfing. Well, internet surfing came from ocean surfing, because internet surfing, you're kind of skimming the top of many different internet websites. You're not going too deeply into one, you're just going from one to the next, to the next, to the next. Surfing the net. That's definition 2. Our family spends more time surfing the internet, 2, computers. Therefore, number 1 is B. Searching from place to place on the internet, from site to site. Access can be permission. I got access to the library. Yeah, if you want to get access to the library, you must show your student ID card. Then you have permission. Or it could be a way, like a door, a portal, a window. A way of entering is an access. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson were thrilled that their children had access to so much information through the internet. Here it's number 2. You have access to information. You have a door or a window you can open. The internet is a window. Open the window and there's so much information on the internet. That's access. A. They had a way to get so much information through the internet. Number 1, entrance or permission to use would be like, if you have a ID, an ID or password. Some websites you have to pay or you need a password. That's access definition 1. Most websites you just open and read. That's number 2. That's the difference. And number 3, solitary. Watching TV can be done as a family, while surfing the internet is often a solitary activity. You do it alone. 2, you do it all alone by yourself. Definition 2 and 3, answer B. Word forms, E, this is the grammar. There will be grammar on the final exam, okay? A lot of grammar questions like this. You must not just get the right word, but it must follow the right grammar. So like here, positive or negative, past tense, future tense, present tense, singular or plural. Everything must fit the sentence or it is wrong. Simple as that. In most colleges, students access the internet. Verb, library, classroom, cafeteria. This easy access, noun. Okay, the same word, access, access. First one verb, second one noun. Decrease. Carol works a lot, so there is a noun. A decrease, noun, in the amount of her free time. She's not happy about this, but she, verb, doesn't decrease the number of hours she works because she likes her job too. Must be negative. She does not decrease because she likes her job. Doesn't or does not decrease, verb. Number 3, Ji Young regularly networks, verb. To network is to, be in touch with people, exchange information, call, email. That's networking. She networks with an S, verb. As a result, she has a noun, a network, a large network, noun of people. Number 4, Maria needs help with her visa, so she contacted the student advisor, verb. I guess you could also use future here. She will contact, but don't say she contacts. The best answer is she contacted, verb. The advisor, he is an important noun, an or a noun, a contact for all foreign students. Number 5, air pollution concerns me, verb, concerns with an S. I concern, you concern, it concerns me. It's not a concern for my roommate. He drives his car everywhere. For noun, concern. Part 2, in English, not adjectives. This is wrong. Verbs. Verbs become nouns in several ways. Some verbs become nouns by adding the suffix tion or ation. Celebrate, verb, not adjective, verb, becomes celebration, noun. Participate, verb, becomes participation, noun. Number 1, the teacher informed the students about the final exam tomorrow. Okay, I would use informed, ed, but you could also say will inform, either one. But don't say informs. The teacher informed them now, or has informed them, or the teacher will inform them. This information, noun, is very important. Number 2, the Olympics is an international competition, noun. People from all over the world compete, verb, together. Number 3, Peter doesn't communicate very well in English. Must be negative. Why? As a result, communication will be a problem. Why will it be a problem? Because he doesn't communicate well in English. Number 3, Peter doesn't communicate well, so as a result, communication will be difficult. Number 4, my doctor wants me to have a noun, a reduction, noun, in my weight, so I will reduce the amount of sweets and ice cream that I eat from now on. 지금 부터, future. From now, 지금, into the future. From now on, I will reduce. Number 5, I'm going to the park for relaxation, noun. I don't relax as much at home as I do in the park. It's much quieter in the park. Must be negative. I don't relax, or you could say I can't relax. Yeah, I think either one is fine. I like I don't relax better. F, vocabulary. Number 1, Trudy is a very solitary person. Alone, solitary. Number 2, parents and children don't always communicate very well. Communicate. Number 3, Olga was accepted to the university of her choice. She is thrilled, very happy, very excited. Of her choice means her top choice, number 1 choice. Right? Maybe you want to go to university, maybe you have 3 choices. Number 1, best choice. Number 2, number 3, okay. But of her choice means her number 1 top choice. That's why she is thrilled, very excited, very happy. Number 4, in order to have access to the library, you need to register and get a library card to have permission to go to the library, to enter it. Simon and his brother always compete with one another. Compete. Number 6, Gloria and her friends relax in the cafeteria. Relax. Number 7, a typewriter is very simple technology, while a computer is very complex. Simple, complex, basic, complicated. Technology. When William's first baby was born, his joy was boundless. Endless, no end, no end, no boundary to his excitement. Number 9, after a holiday, there will often be a big reduction in prices, a big drop. And number 10, this concerns his parents. This worries his parents. Concerns, worries. Okay, last thing, the close quiz, I. Number 1, computer. Number 2, thrilled. Number 3, access. Number 4, internet. Number 5, though. Number 6, surfing. Number 7, complains. Number 8, research. Number 9, tripled. Number 10, popular. Number 11, reduction. Number 12, agrees. Number 13, boundless. Unlimited, boundless, no boundary, no limit. Number 14, face-to-face. Number 15, televisions. Number 16, watching. Number 17, parents. Number 18, difference. Number 19, family. And number 20, solitary. Surfing the internet is often a solitary activity. Wow, good work. Guess what? It's time for our final unit, our final chapter in the book, chapter 13. Please turn to page 175. The reliability of eyewitnesses. I witness. I seeing. I watching. An eyewitness is somebody who actually saw something happen live. Not heard about it, not on TV. No, actually you were there and you saw it happen. You are an eyewitness, okay? A live witness who observed the event. Are they reliable? Are they believable? I don't know. If you look at page 175, see the women standing there? Right? That's called the police lineup. Okay, a police lineup. Let's go to page 176. Now, the work I want you to do now is read the story, page 176 and 177. There's a lot of new vocabulary, so you can use your notes. Okay, use the notes. I gave you a lot of some vocabulary words here. So if it helps, that's good. Please use it. Then I want you to answer page 178, 179, and 180, and then stop. Okay? Yeah. So read the story and answer page A up to number 10. Don't do number 11. Skip number 11 on page 180. So A, number 1 to number 10 only. Okay, try to finish this in about, 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, certainly no more than 15 minutes. 10 minutes is better. Go ahead, read and answer the questions. Let's read it together. Bernard Jackson is a free man today, but he has many bitter memories, many angry memories. Jackson spent 5 years in a prison after a jury wrongly convicted him, said he's guilty. When the jury convicts you, it means you are guilty of raping 2 women. At Jackson's trial, although 2 witnesses testified that Jackson was with them at another location at the times of the crimes, he was convicted anyway. Why? Now that's called an alibi, A-L-I-B-I, alibi. That's when you have evidence that you were not there, right? Oh, I was in another town. It's not possible I committed the crime. On that day, I was in another town and these people saw me, right? That's called an alibi, and usually that's enough to make you innocent. But he was still convicted anyway. Why? The jury believed the testimony, the statements of the 2 victims who positively identified Jackson as the man who had attacked them. The court eventually freed Jackson. You're free. But after spending 5 years in jail. Freed Jackson after the police found the man who had really committed the crimes. Jackson was similar in appearance to the guilty man. The 2 women had made a mistake in identity. They saw the wrong person. They said he was him, but it was not him, it was another person. They said the wrong person. As a result, Jackson has lost 5 years of his life. The 2 women in this case were eyewitnesses. Sure, they were the victims. They saw because it happened to them. They clearly saw the man who attacked them, yet they mistakenly identified wrong person, an innocent person, Mr. Jackson. Similar incidents have occurred before. Eyewitnesses to other crimes have identified the wrong person in a police lineup or in photographs. On page 175, you saw a police lineup. Many factors influence the accuracy of eyewitness testimony. For example, witnesses sometimes see photographs of several suspects before they try to identify the person they saw in a lineup of people. A suspect is someone you think maybe committed the crime, possible criminal. They can become confused by seeing many photographs or similar faces. The number of people in the lineup and whether it is a live lineup or a photograph may also affect a witness's decision. People sometimes have difficulty identifying people of other races. The questions the police ask witnesses also have an effect on them. Are some witnesses more reliable than others? More believable? Reliable, believable. Well, many people believe that police officers are more reliable than ordinary people. Ordinary people are civilians, regular people, not police officer, not military, just civilian, citizen. Psychologists decided to test this idea, and they discovered that it is not true. 2 psychologists showed a film of crimes to both police officers and civilians. Notice, ordinary people, civilians. Okay, regular people, same. The psychologists found no difference between the police and the civilians in correctly remembering the details of the crimes. So police were therefore not more reliable than civilians. Despite all the possibilities for inaccuracy, courts cannot exclude, ignore, not listen to, cannot exclude eyewitness testimony from a trial. American courts depend almost completely on eyewitness testimony to solve court cases. Sometimes it is the only evidence to a crime such as rape. Furthermore, eyewitness testimony is often correct. Although people do sometimes make mistakes, Many times they really do identify individuals correctly. American courts depend on the ability of the 12 jurors, and not the judges, to determine the accuracy of the witness's testimony. The jurors are the jury, the panel. An American court has 12 members, 12 people on the panel to decide if someone is guilty or not guilty. That panel we call the jury, 12-person jury. It is their responsibility to decide, notice decide, determine, okay, same. Determine guilty or not, decide if a certain witness could actually see, hear, and remember what occurred, what happened. In a few cases, the testimony of eyewitnesses has convicted innocent people. More importantly, it has rightly, correctly convicted a large number of guilty people. Consequently, therefore, it continues to be of great value in the American judicial system. People make mistakes. Human beings make mistakes. That is life. We all do. You, me, everybody. We all make mistakes. Sometimes those mistakes are very serious and they can hurt people. But we still have to rely on eyewitness testimony. Number one, what is the main idea of the passage? Page 178. It's B. Sometimes incorrect, it's still useful, it's still valuable, it's still important. B. Number two, A, they mention A, they mention C, they mention E, and they mention H. A, C, E, H. Not B, not D, not F, and not G. Number three is A. Bitter means angry. Number four, A is number one. A testimony is a statement. Testimony is a statement, one. B, victims, number two, people who, the victims where the crime was committed against them. If you're a victim, then the crime happened to you. B, number two. Number five, yet means but. Three, however, yet, but, even so. Three. B, because of opposite. Right, if you look at line 12, they clearly saw the man who attacked them, yet they mistakenly identified an innocent person. They saw him, yet wrong person. Okay, opposite, contrast. The context tells you it means a contrast. Number 6B, for example. Number 7, what is not true, that officers are more reliable than civilians. Okay, it is not true that officers are more reliable than civilians, who be, number 2, ordinary people. Civilians are ordinary people, usually it means not in the military and not in the police. Not military, not police, just kunyang shimin, kunyang citizen. Number 8, 3, in spite of, despite, momomo, in spite of, momomo. And number 8B, evidence is number 1, proof. A, despite 3. B, evidence 1, evidence, proof. Number 9, C, the jurors. And number 10, A, as a result. Consequently means as a result, or therefore, or so. And the poster at number 11, we're going to skip that one. Next, B, I want you to look at the passage again and answer B on page 181, and then C on page 182. Again, don't do the summary on page 183. So I'm going to give you maybe, again, 10 or 15 minutes. Look at the passage again, answer B and C, page 181, 182. Go ahead. Okay, page 181, B. Bernard Jackson case, his crime, he was accused of raping 2 women. The evidence was the eyewitness testimony of the 2 women who were raped. C, the reason for his conviction, The jury believed the women's testimony. They believed the eyewitness testimony. The problem was that they were wrong. Okay? They were wrong. Right? They had what's called a mistake in identity. He was innocent, but he looked like the guilty man. He was very similar looking, but he was not the guilty man. Very sad. He had to go to jail wrongly for 5 years. He was innocent. Factors influencing the accuracy of eyewitness testimony. A, the witness sometimes sees photographs of several suspects. B, they can be confused by seeing many different photographs of similar faces. C, the number of people in the lineup. Is it a live lineup? Is it a photograph? D, people of other races. Sometimes it's more difficult to identify somebody from a different race, and so on. Those are them, A, B, C, and D. And E is the police can ask questions that have an effect on them. Number 3, experiment to test the reliability of police officers and ordinary people as witnesses. A, the experiment was 2 psychologists showed a film of crimes to police and to civilians. The same film. The police watched the film, the civilians watched the film. The result, no difference. No difference in remembering the details of the crime. Police and civilians, same. No difference. Number 4, why courts cannot exclude eyewitness testimony? Well, sometimes it's the only evidence, and it's usually correct. Okay, A, it's the only evidence for many crimes, is just people saw it. And B, usually it's correct. Sometimes it's wrong, and that's terrible. It's very unfortunate, but usually it's right. And it's all we have. So we have to use it. Next page. Okay, again, if you answered page 181 well and correctly, then you use that information for page 182. Number 1, why did he go to prison? He was convicted of rape, and no, he wasn't guilty. Convicted of rape, not guilty. At the trial, his 2 witnesses said that the 2 witnesses said that he was with them in another location, remember? And the jury didn't believe them. They did not believe the alibi. They believed the eyewitnesses who said that he raped them. But the other 2 witnesses that saw him in another location, the jury did not believe them. They did not believe his alibi. 3, why did they identify Jackson as the man who had attacked them? He was similar in appearance. He looked like the man who raped them. He looked very similar, and they thought it was him. Number 4, some factors that affect eyewitness testimony. They confused by seeing similar faces, the number of people in the lineup. Is it a live lineup? Is it a photo? Is it people of different races can be confusing? The questions the police ask you can make it confusing. Any 3 points are fine. Number 5, are police officers better witnesses than ordinary people? No. A, just simply no, they are not. B, how did the psychologist test this idea? They showed a film of a crime. The police watched the film, and then ordinary people, civilians, watched the same film. And there was no difference in how they correctly remembered the events. Police, civilians, same. No difference in what they saw, what they remembered in the film. Number 6, why is eyewitness testimony important in an American court? Because it's usually accurate. And sometimes it's the only evidence. It's all we have. We must use it. And of course, it's usually right, but not always. It's not 100%, just like humans are not ever 100% right. Number 7, in an American court, who decides if the eyewitness testimony is correct or not? Well, that's the jury. Jury. The jury decides that. The panel. Why is eyewitness testimony a valuable part of the American judicial system? Because it can be the only evidence, or at least the most important evidence. Only evidence or most important evidence is eyewitness testimony, eyewitness evidence. Okay, skip D. Actually, that's all of our work this week. That's it. We've got a lot done. I strongly advise you to read the passage again. If you read it again, you'll remember the vocabulary better. You'll remember the main points, the organization. Please read it again when you have time. And I can promise you that the vocabulary, there's a lot of new and legal vocabulary. You're much more likely to remember it along with the key points of the story. Homework. D, no. Dictionary skills, no. We won't do it in this chapter. E, yes, word forms, the grammar. Please do E, page 185, 186, 187. F, vocabulary, page 187, 188. And I, close of quiz, page 190, 191. E, F, and I. And for the written homework, page 189. G, number 1 and number 2. Okay, number 1, police officers are not better eyewitnesses than ordinary people. What type of person do you think would be a very reliable eyewitness, and why? Okay, why? Give at least one reason. Who would be reliable and why? Number 2, eyewitness testimony is often unreliable. Sometimes, not often. However, it continues to be part of the American legal system. Should eyewitness testimony be eliminated? Yes or no? Why or why not? Okay, should it be eliminated? Answer, yes it should. No it shouldn't. And then why? Yes it should because mo 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 mo. No it shouldn't because mo 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 mo. I want a reason for both, actually. Number 1 and number 2. Okay, so again, your homework, chapter 13, page 185. Really, page 185 to 191. E, F, G, number 1 and 2. I, fill in the blanks, close quiz. That's it. That's your homework. Get it all done and hand me your written answers for G by Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Okay? Please don't submit it first thing in the morning at 8:55. A few of you have done that. Try to get it to me today, tomorrow, Wednesday. The sooner the better. But 9 a.m. Thursday is the deadline. After that, it is late. Period. Okay, that's it. Again, there's no listening lab this week. Please study and review for next week's test. I look forward to reading your homework, getting your email this week. If you have any question at all, please ask me in your email. And don't forget that our final exam is coming up pretty soon. Next week, we will have regular lecture, online lecture, video lecture, and you will be, so 2 things, video lecture and listening lab test online. Video lecture will be sent on Monday, and I today gave you the time and day of your final listening test. That's all for this week, everyone. Great job. Good work. Thanks for joining. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.